about wobbly camera. I was just checking my lighting because I've been messing around in my craft room and I'm just wondering if I am live. Ooh, that lighting's going a bit funny. If I move there it looks a bit lighter. If someone can drop me a comment, because again I'm not seeing numbers so I'm hoping I'm live. And let me have a look. I'll just give it a few seconds, a moment or two, and just see if anybody jumps on and joins me live this lunchtime. Tuesday the 3rd of May, which is Happy New Year to Stampin' Uppers. It's the first day of our new annual catalogue, and that's the reason for my live today. So welcome if you're joining me today. Maybe you're joining me on catch up later on. And I will introduce myself. I am Izzy Shashinsky. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I'm based right in the middle of the country in Nottinghamshire. Oh, hi Shaz, that's great. At least I know I'm live now. That's fab. I am just going to do a very, well, not quick, not sort of rushed, but I'm just going to spend hopefully about an hour in your lunch break and my lunch break today, just having a look at the new catalogue, because finally I can open it live on air and we can walk through. So I'm not going to go page by page. Please do not feel that it is like, you know, slumber time and I'm going to send you all to sleep. It's exciting and I'm going to show you lots of lovely new products. I'm also going to do a quick card just to demonstrate one of our wonderful new products. So without further ado, I'm not even going to go with all of the preamble and the golden moments or any of that. Hi Sylvia. I'm going to dive straight in because the golden moment of this week is new catalogue. So let's swing us back around. And you may have noticed that I'm back at my usual crafting desk, simply because my craft room, oh golly, my old faithful mobile phone holder is just looking a bit precarious, so bear with. Yeah, oh goodness. Yes, you can tell I've been messing around in my craft room because this is looking a bit like it wants to swivel. No rude comments, anyone. So let me just try and tweak that without it sliding. So new annual catalogue. I could probably do with this being zoomed out a little bit. So let's just bear with me and let's see if this wonderful phone holder that my fabulous husband made me right at the beginning of the pandemic, made out of unused plumbing parts, and it served me so well for 2 years. Yes, there we go. So let's zoom out a little bit. Annual catalogue. Fabulous. It's all glossy and beautiful, but we're not going to use this one. Oh no, it's too nice to open. This is how I rock and roll with my catalogue. I take it to pieces and I put it in a ring binder. It's a ring binder with a clear cover, so I can slot in my front cover and we'll dive straight in. It means that I can open it really easily, and I can pop my own tabs on the side. So first thing I want to talk about, and I've got hundreds of notes here, so let's whiz straight through them. The first thing I want to talk about is the way that I've just put some tabs on. I use the old Stampin' Up faithful tab punch that I just will not get rid of for this reason in particular. And I have marked out all of our new suites in white tabs, so count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fabulous new suites this year. My other tabs all help me to find things quickly in the catalogue. So I have a tab for the angel policy, a tab for the colour families, which helps me to go straight to the colours. Storage, card index, adhesives, always handy. wow factor, which is what we're calling that page where Stampin' Up couldn't decide where to put all the other bits and pieces, so they put them all over on one 2-page layout. Designer series paper, memories and more, cards and envelopes. I have a very important tab called Bling, ribbon, stamperators, desk tools. So by desk tools I mean things that go on my desk, like grid sheet, because strangely we have desk tools, then punches, then cutting and scoring tools, and it's just scissors and things. I would have personally put those with the other tools, but hey, that's how I rock and roll with my catalogues. That's a very quick sort of overview about how I organise my catalogue in a ring binder. Please can you give me a comment if you can't see this in full screen, and then I can adjust my camera. I'm going to stand throughout this live today. I'm not going to take a seat, so I should be able to keep my eye on comments. So I'm going to dive straight in and highlight a couple of my favourite things just to get us off the bat because it's exciting. So my first favourite thing is the Tea Boutique bundle. Tea Boutique Sweet Collection. And it's just fabulous. I'm going to have a play with this. I'm going to make a simple card whilst I'm doing this live today. My second favourite, I like all the sweets, to be honest. I want all of them, perhaps with the exception of maybe one or two less high on my list, but I love all of them. But my second favourite, which I've already talked about, and I think I did my live with last week, is the Sun Prince. In actual fact, this is my absolute favourite sweet in the whole catalogue. Blue is my favourite colour, all shades of blue, so I was instantly drawn to the colours in the designer series paper. I really love nature, so I was also really drawn in by the nature, the leaves, and the wonderful sentiments that have a really gorgeous font as well. So that's why I was drawn into this. And something I do want to point out is that whilst the suite includes the stamp set and the dies and the designer series paper and an embossing folder, there is also one additional item that coordinates, and that can be found in the designer series paper section. And on page 133 there is a pack of designer series paper called Pretty Prints, and it's a 12 by 12 pack, and you get 12 sheets, 4 of each, 3 double-sided designs, and it coordinates with the Sun Prince suite on page 90 to 91 with some extra different colours. So highlighted in this pack, the colours are Bermuda Bay, that's the lovely turquoise, Blackberry Bliss, that gorgeous dark purple, Calypso Coral, the really pretty coral colour, Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. So I'm only seeing, why am I only seeing Coastal Cabana? Evening Evergreen, why am I not seeing Bermuda Bay? I'm seeing Coastal Cabana there. I don't know why that's not in the picture. I think it's perhaps because they're two tones, because now I'm reading on gorgeous grape, petal pink, rich raspberry, shaded spruce, soft seafoam, soft succulent, sweet sorbet. So I think that these are two-tone or multi-tonal in a group of colours. So this one that looks like Calypso Coral will also have in it petal pink and sweet sorbet, I'm thinking. Or maybe the sweet sorbet is in the purpley one. So I'm thinking it's multi-tonal. I haven't seen this in real life. Oh, hi Donna, I can see you've joined us. So I'm going to actually highlight both of these sweets in real. I will bring the products out, but let's start at the beginning of the catalogue. And as we turn over, I want to point out on the table of contents on page 3 some of the catalogue icons, because these are really handy. As well as looking at new products today, I want to also just give you some hints and tips about how to read your catalogue to make sure that you spot things and you understand some of the stuff that we have printed in there. So the big N is a new product. That's really handy for looking for what's carried over or what you might already have purchased if you're a Stampin' Up addict. So I'll give you one example. Let's whiz right the way through for example, to the dies section, which starts on page 160, and we can see immediately that we've got bundles. Now the little red N, not the little red hen, the little red N, if any of you are familiar with that fairy story. The little red N denotes new products in this catalogue. So you can see that the Blessings of Home bundle doesn't have an N. It's not a new product in this catalogue, so it's carried over but still offered as a bundle. So you may wish to, just when you're reading your catalogue and you've already purchased quite a few bits and pieces from Stampin' Up, just spot the ones that don't have the N and ask yourself whether you've already purchased that. Believe it or not, I have had customers do multiple purchases in the past. They hadn't realised that they'd already bought something and they love it so much they buy it twice. That's so funny. So the other symbols are this little symbol with the double twin flowers, and that means that we have special photo polymer stamps with images on both sides, or we can reverse the images so that you get a reversed mirror. I haven't got any examples of a stamp set with a reversible on, so I haven't actually highlighted that. We've got this symbol, which is a trademark symbol for Stampin' Up, and that's the distinctive symbol, and that denotes distinctive stamps that create different opacities in single stamped images. And what that means is that you get quite a true and realistic image. Now, I'm just going to bring in a card that I made yesterday, and that was made using a distinctive stamp, and that's the Flowing Flowers. That's actually, I'm going to confuse you now, in the January to June mini. So you can see the different shaded and toned parts of that image stamped with one colour. So that's what that means. We've got this clock symbol, and that's a really handy one to look out for. You need to make a quick card, or you just fancy making a quick card. If you look for examples, because of course the catalogue is more than just a catalogue of products, it's actually an ideas book. We used to, in the old days, call it the ideas book as well. So you can see samples. So let's have a quick look. I haven't actually highlighted or spotlighted anything in my catalogue just to pull out. That's very organised of me. I'm just going to whiz through as if I was looking for a nice quick sample to make. And I think I know where I'll find one, to be honest. Let's just go with cards and envelopes. I reckon there might be something there. Oh no, there isn't. Let's just have a flick. There we go. So here we go. We've got a clock here. That would be a really nice, quick, easy card layout. So that's a stamped background, multiple repeat stamps, a sentiment with a layer underneath and a little bit of twine. Very quick, simple card, and you'll find that symbol, you will find that symbol right the way through the catalogue. We also have symbols for different language stamps, and I also just want to point out another symbol. Oh, here we go. Here's another quick and easy, and I want to just talk about this. This sample layout also tells you about stepping up a project. So you can start here with quick and easy, where the clock is. We can step it up a little bit more by adding some accessories, some bits of bling and some ribbon, and we can step it up even further by actually fussy cutting the images rather than stamping the background. So we can use the same layout but stepping it up each way. And I also want to just point out this symbol, which is the shopping basket with a heart. And that's telling you that there's another item displayed on this page but not listed on the page, and where to find it. So in this instance, it's the Dots and Spots die. So it's a background die that's been used on this card, and this symbol is telling you the item number and the price and the page number. And I also want to point out that this shopping basket with a love heart can also be found when you're shopping online with me. You can actually add things to a wish list without adding them to your shopping basket. So you can actually favourite certain items. So that's another way of making your wish list, and you can actually then send that to me electronically via email. So we do have a table of contents, but while we're looking at the table of contents, I also want to point out at the back of the catalogue we also have a stamp index. So if you know the name of the stamp set, and you can also handily tick off the stamp sets that you have. We also have an accessories index, which I find really useful. So if you don't have tabs on your catalogue like I have, you can quickly find adhesives, die cutting and embossing, embellishments and ribbon embossing, ink and colouring, paper and packaging, punches, scrapbooking and tools and storage, and then there are subsections with all the different page numbers on. That's a really handy page to have. So if you don't have tabs down the side, one thing you might want to do is put a post-it sticker on this edge, the index page, which is 183. So that's just about finding things and being able to read your catalogue. I want to also, so I started by highlighting my favourite things. I just want to say a quick word about our comprehensive coordination. As we know, Stampin' Up is famed for its wonderful coordination, but it goes beyond colour coordination, which is the one thing that sold Stampin' Up to me all those years ago, 10.5 years ago, or 10 and a bit years ago, was the colour coordination. But I absolutely love the fact that we're now highlighting sweets and perfectly paired products. So these two pages speak volumes for me. So while we're talking about sweets, I'll just turn again to Tea Boutique and just have a little chat about what does a sweet mean. Well, a sweet does mean a collection of coordinating products that all match and go together. And you can buy a sweet for one price and one item number if you love it all and you want to have it all. So it will tell you on the first page of the sweet highlight what the collection actually will include. You can also, from a sweet, buy each item individually. So if you just love the stamp set, you can have just the stamp set. You've got an item number here, you've got a price here, and you've also got a description. Is it photopolymer? Is it cling? There's also a suggestion of which blocks you might need. So if you're a beginner, if you're just starting out and you're just new to Stampin' Up, you'll know what blocks, what block sizes you might need to be able to use this right out of the packet when you get it. It also tells you that it coordinates with the dies, and when there's a stamp set and a die included in a suite, you can buy that stamp set and matching dies as a bundle. So we have these collections, bundles, where there are two items together, either a stamp set and a die or a stamp set and a punch, available with a 10% discount, or a suite where we have all these gorgeous coordinating items available together for one price and one item code, and that one price will include the 10% discount for the bundle. So that's just a little word about suites if you didn't already know that. So let me just spotlight something else about the catalogue, and let's just move, because we've had a look at this one, let's move to another suite just so that you're having a look at some other gorgeous things. Now I haven't got this yet, but I will be getting this. I'm certain. Love this suite. It's all about nature and those lovely tones, lovely shades. I absolutely adore. So yeah, another thing to point out about your catalogue, again, if you're new to Stampin' Up, maybe you're not new to Stampin' Up but you didn't realise that actually all the images for the stamp sets are always shown at 100%. So what you see is what you stamp when you get your stamp set. It's that size. It's that size. And there's sometimes there are the odd one where it might be shown at a different size, and it's usually the background stamps. If I can find the background stamps, they're usually towards the back. Let me just find that page because I don't want to be telling you something. Here we go. So the background stamps that we have are large stamps, and it will tell you that the artwork is shown at a different percentage. So 35% or 40% or 50%. So it's worth just reading the catalogue and reading the small print, there's also a suggestion of which block that you might need for the large background stamps. So that's something useful to know about the catalogue images. Also, you may notice that in this image here, we have these images that are a slightly different colour. Let me just see if there's a different one. It might be clearer on this image. We can see that some of these images are a slightly different colour. And that just denotes that these images are the ones that you will be able to cut out using the dies. So let's go back to Abigail Rose. Now, Donna's just said, you've just ordered this suite, the Abigail Rose suite, or was it the teacup suite? Absolutely beautiful. Both of them are fab anyway. So you can see which images you're going to get a coordinating die that will cut out, or indeed a coordinating punch if there's a matching punch. So that's just something to tell you about the catalogue. Now let me tell you about favourite, while we're talking about suites and bundles, in fact I won't tell you about favourite things just yet. Let's go and have a look at punches, as I just mentioned that. So we'll go straight to the punches section, page 150 onwards, and we can see that we have 7 punch bundles, and 3 on this page have carried over. 3 on this page are new and 1 has carried over. So this Let's Set Sail bundle, punch bundle, has carried over from the January to June mini. Oh, it's the Abigail Rose that you've ordered, Donna. That's fab. Love it. This Sailboat Builder Punch and the Let's Set Sail stamp set has carried over from the January to June mini catalogue, which is fantastic because it's a bundle that's carried over. I just want to point out one bundle that hasn't carried over as a bundle. So here we go. The Hedgehog, Happy Hedgehog stamp set and the Hedgehog Builder Punch, whilst they're included in the catalogue, we have the Hedgehog Builder Punch on page 154, and the Hedgehog stamp set is also in, Happy Hedgehog stamp set is also in the new catalogue. The bundle, saving 10%, has not carried over into the annual catalogue. So the January to June mini catalogue is still current until the end of June. So if you love the hedgehogs, and who doesn't, then your time to buy the hedgehogs is before the end of June. And something that I posted about a couple of months ago maybe is that anybody who purchases, this is my gift, I'm allowed to do this and able to do this, anybody who purchases the bundle until the end of June, so that's while it's available as a bundle, I'm going to donate £5 to the Seventh Heaven Hedgehog Rescue charity here in Retford. They do fantastic work. It's one lady, Sue Smith, who does an awful lot of work, mostly on her own. She does have some volunteers, but she works tirelessly for Hedgehog Rescue. So that's a little bit about bundles and punches. Let's have a look at the dies now and die bundles. So counting them up, that was 7 bundles of punches, stamp sets and punches. We've got 27 bundles with dies. So again, keep looking for the red symbol, the red N symbol for all the new things, and then you will see which other ones have actually carried over. So we've got all these brand new, look at them, majority new, fabulous, but also wonderfully we've also got a nice amount of carryover bundles. I'm really pleased to see some of these carryover. Of course, Honeybee Blooms had to be my favourite from the mini catalogue with those bees. Really delighted that that's carried over as a bundle, saving 10%. So fantastic. I do want to point out, however, that we do have some products available again in the dies that are available as a bundle in the January to June mini. Beautiful shapes, and I probably can't remember all of them, but one of them is the Ranunculus Romance. So Ranunculus Romance is one of my favourites from the January to June mini. It's carried over as a stamp set and a set of matching dies, but not as a bundle. So again, if you love that, get your 10% saving before the end of June. It's worth just studying the catalogue for that reason, because we like to, you know, this catalogue's going to be here for a whole year. It starts today and it's here for a whole year. So it's worth it when we're writing our wish list to just pace ourselves and make sure that we get our savings where we can. So I've told you about some of my other favourite things. Yes, stamp set in the moment has carried over. Oh, I don't need to show you it on a page because I can show you the stamp set. That's another one of my favourite things from the last annual catalogue that's carried over. I really love this. It's fabulous if you enjoy colouring in, because you can get some really gorgeous techniques going with watercolour, with your blends, with just brushing some of the colour on with your blending brushes. I've seen some really gorgeous ones done in a kind of monochromatic way. So a lovely stamp set. I really enjoy that one. Also, let's have a look at some of the designer series paper. Now, the designer series paper is all new. We never carry designer series paper, or very rarely carry designer series paper over. So we've got Abigail Rose, and these all coordinate with sweet. So if you read the small print, coordinates with a sweet, coordinates with a sweet, coordinates with a sweet. All of these coordinate with sweets, absolutely every single one, apart from Perfectly Penciled. I don't think coordinates with a sweet. No, it doesn't. And this one does coordinate with a sweet, but isn't part of the sweet. Then we move on to 6x6. So we've got some Tea Boutique that's 6x6, and it's worth just looking carefully again at the pictures. So let me just show you the pictures carefully. All of the ones with the large pictures of the paper at the top will be 12x12. So an at a glance, very quick way of viewing your DSP. You can see the difference in the picture. We've got a double layer, so that will be a 6x6, talking inches. 6x6 inches. So you can see these are all 12, just at a glance, really quickly. And then we turn the page, we've got one here that's 6 inch by 6 inch. And then the coordinating colour family designer series paper pack. So you can get, we've got the new in colours pictured, but you can also get a pack of the same patterns, but in the 2021 to 2023 in colours, just a different code. So just be careful, don't be misled by the picture. Same here, we've got the subtles pictured, but we actually have packs for the brights, neutrals, regals and subtles. The different item codes are shown here, and it tells you how many sheets per pack. You can also grab this pack, fabulous pack of designer series paper, and on this page it's actually printed correctly. You can actually buy this for £17 if your order goes over £150. So the word host sometimes is a little bit misleading. So if your order, and you're a person ordering £150 worth of product, you can actually purchase this, and it's a bumper pack. It actually has 48 sheets of 12 inch by 12 inch designer series paper. There are 12 double-sided designs, and there are 4 pieces of each. Fabulous. Now I just want to point out that on the host page that also highlights the stamp sets, there are 2 stamp sets. So if you actually place an order, so we don't have to host a party, we can place an order for £150 and you will get stamping rewards of 10%. So £150, you get £15 to spend, and you can use that £15. You can actually purchase this pack of paper, which is £17, and you can pay the extra £2. Or you can use your rewards to buy one of these stamp sets. you can only purchase these 3 items once your order goes over £150 and you've earned some stamping rewards. So that's how it works. It's actually, there are 3 stamp sets. Learn how to read your catalogue, Izzy. So that's how stamping rewards work. Sometimes there's a bit of confusion because the word party and the word host are mentioned, but if you are the kind of person who gets birthday money, or you want to place a big order all at once, then if your order trips 150, that's where you start earning some rewards, and it's always 10% of the order total. So if your order was 170, you'd get £17 to spend. Now there is a catalogue printing error on this page 179, where this Designer Daydream Designer Series paper is actually priced correctly at £17, but it doesn't say 48 sheets. So I've just altered mine there. It's printed correctly on page 135. What else do I have to show you in the catalogue? Really quickly, I'm going to go to the cards and envelopes. We've got some craft note cards and envelopes, and they come in a nice sturdy box. There are 20 cards, 20 envelopes with a nice sturdy coordinating box. So that would make a great gift if you were to do a stamper stack of 20. You could gift some of them in the box, decorate the box. You could keep the box for yourself and decorate it, or you could gift the whole lot. We've got the Tea Boutique cards and envelopes, which I'm going to show you. The slimline envelopes from the January to June mini catalogue have carried over, and all the rest are general envelopes, note cards and envelopes, and just general envelopes. We also have Memories and More. Just a really quick word about Memories and More. If you're a scrapbooker and a traditional scrapbooker, Memories and More is a modern way of scrapbooking, or a slightly different way of memory keeping. It's not all about doing the traditional beautiful layouts that are intricate and take a lot of time. This is almost like, I want to say, scrapbooking on the go, or fast and furious scrapbooking, or just a quick way. It works with a lovely ring binder and pocket pages. So these are clear pocket pages, and we also have sets of Memories and More cards, and these insert into the pocket pages, and the idea is that we don't just keep our photographs on our phones, we actually send them to one of the quick print companies and get some prints made, or we have a little printing device of our own, and we keep our memories by almost like a quick journal. I've done a couple of Facebook lives where I've talked through Memories and More, and I do have a brand new album and some new inserts which I'm going to do a session on later on, not today. What else do I want to highlight? Oh yes, wrapping it up, fancy paper. Something I'm really chuffed about is that we've got this gold and rose gold paper that's carried over, because it's so lovely, and also our brushed metallic. Now this has been around for a couple of years, so I was really surprised but really delighted to see that this has carried over also. And we also have the craft 6x6 paper. So if you love your craft paper, which I do, as a neutral, it's something that Stampin' Up have kind of dabbled with in the past but never carried it for a whole year. One thing I really adore is the new in colour glimmer paper, and I'm going to show you that. I've showed you it a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to just bring it in. So let's close the catalogue for a moment and let's have a look at some real life products. I hope I've inspired you to also pull your catalogue to pieces and pop it in a ring binder. It's not as scary as you first think. I just carefully pulled away the catalogue from its glued spine, and then very carefully tore out each sheet. It was time consuming but worth it. I find it much easier to navigate round my ring binder. Now I'm going to bring in Tea Boutique. I shared this with you a couple of weeks ago. So we have the stamp set, and we have the matching dies, and we have the Designer Series paper. There's half a used sheet, we'll just take that away. So I'm just going to have a quick, and this is probably not in order because I've been flicking through this. Yes, so I've turned, all I've done is literally turned one sheet sort of through the set over. So we have these wonderfully patterned, let's turn it the right way around so it looks a bit nicer. Just a bit easier to flick through. Let's have a look. So we've got these wonderfully patterned designs. If I just pop that back in order. I won't go through all of them, but the idea is that we have these wonderfully bold pattern designs, but then backed by some sort of plainer designs that you can use. You can see that's a plainer design that you can use as layers on your projects. So, absolutely gorgeous. Like I say, I want to get on and make something, so I'm not going to go through them one by one, but you get the idea of how gorgeous they are. The one thing I loved about this suite, the one thing that really drew it to me as a must-have first purchase, was the coordination with the new in colours. Now, I'm going to show you what else you get in the suite. You get the pack of note cards and envelopes, and the envelopes are absolutely beautiful. So pre-printed, just gorgeous in all 5 in colours. And I'm going to make a card today using Parakeet Party. So you get pre-printed cards, already scored, really lovely designs. Let's just try and pull those apart. So we've got that one, you can see how it matches the flap of the envelope, and this one. So we've got Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet and Parakeet Party, and they're all scored, pre-printed and white inside. So they're a fantastic buy just on their own, but they do come as part of the suite if you purchase the suite as a 1-item code purchase. So I'm going to just pop one of those out, and let's just scoop all this to one side. So one of the things I wanted to apologise for as well is that I've actually got craft class tomorrow evening here locally, and so I've got all my kit packed up. So I've got quite a lot of kit, including all the in colour inks apart from Parakeet Party. I do want to just share the other colours that are in the designer series paper as well as the new in colours. We have Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia and Garden Green. So I've just pulled those out as well. And I'll just pop those back to one side. And I'm going to make quite a quick and easy card. And I might sit down for this one actually. So also packed away. Oh, Shaz, you've just ordered the tea suite. It's fabulous. You won't regret it. It's fantastic. Also packed away is practically all of my blocks. So I'm just going to muddle through best I can. See, I've got this block. I'm sure I can use that one. And I've got this block. And I've got this block. So we'll see what we can do. So I'm just going to take a seat and I'm just going to share with you how easy it is just to make a quick and easy card. The other thing I'm going to use is my layering circles dies, and I've already gone ahead and die cut a vellum fancy circle using this scalloped circle die from my layering circles dies, which is just something I think is really useful in your craft room. So let me grab a piece of basic white card. Let's just move some of these bits and pieces to one side, give myself some elbow room, and I'll bring in my trimmer just for no other reason than to reduce this piece of basic white down. So I'm just going to reduce it down to something manageable that I know will fit through the die cutting machine. So I've got just a couple of pieces there that I can stamp on. So we are photo polymer stamp set, so I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat, my really rather dirty and well loved Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to stamp a teacup I'm going to go for the striped one today. Let's just pop that on a block. So that's nicely mounted on there. And I'm also going to stamp the foliage and the flowers. Let's see what blocks I've got. Might fit on this one. Can I fit these flowers on here? I'm just going to lay them on. So I'm just going to lay those flowers on because they will position with the foliage. Sometimes when they're in a string like this, it's easy to get them in the wrong position. So I just kind of gently lay them on so that they don't bend too much. I've got some foliage here. I think I'm going to have to go with this big block, but no matter. We'll just stamp some of those images and see where we get to. So really quickly, I'm just going to stamp my teacup in Parakeet Party because my cardline, now I can immediately see that my ink is quite juicy and it's got bubbles on that stamp. So I'm going to actually just stamp that off onto a piece of scruffy old grid sheet. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know what just fell down, but I've just knock something off. I'm going to very carefully use an old gift card and I'm going to just move some of that ink. It's a very juicy brand new ink pad. I'm just going to stroke that along and just move it to one end. It doesn't take any off, it just moves it to one side, and we'll just see if that improves matters. So again, if I make sure that's nice and clean, I've got ink in the gaps, but that's not going to contact my paper, so I'm hoping that that's going to, oh, we're still really quite juicy. Let's go again. Let's just see if we can improve matters. And we're still really juicy and foamy, so I'm going to just have a look and see how that goes. I think I'm happy with that. Sometimes with photopolymer you do get those bubbles coming up. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp. It's a very juicy pad, goodness me. Lots of ink. Anyway, let's just stamp. Let's go for it. You see I've got these blotches. That's a really great demonstration, isn't it? Let's go for it. Let's see what we get. And I'm going to stamp. I'm just going to crack on. I'm going to stamp my foliage and my flowers. I'm going to use garden green. I'm looking at the envelope and I can see that we've got some yellow flowers there, so I'm thinking that I might use crushed curry. I don't think that fresh freesia would go with that envelope, so I'm going to discard that. So I'm going to use garden green for the foliage. And we look at the dies. We've got dies that will cut the foliage out and dies that will cut the flowers out. So I can tell that's a much older ink pad, much less juicy. So that's our foliage. Let's have a look at. I would ideally like to actually stamp sweet sorbet, but that's packed away for class tomorrow. Let's get rid of that dirty grid sheet. And let's have a look at crushed curry, or maybe even Poppy Parade might coordinate. I'm just going to see what Poppy Parade looks like. I do fancy something red. I'll just stamp that. And I think that's going to coordinate actually. So I'm going to stamp that there, but I do want to show you, because I'm going to die cut this, I do want to show you that these flowers actually do line up with the foliage. You can get them to actually line up like so, she says. Now then, I think it's this way round. I can't get my head over the stamp. But I think if you stamp them about there, that they line. Oh no, that one didn't. I think I needed to be that way. This is a great demonstration, turning out to be a fabulous demonstration of how not to stamp. Let me just stamp that foliage again because I want to cut one. Let's have one to cut, and let's have one. And I might actually, I'm wondering, because this is two-step, I'm wondering whether I'd be better stamping the flowers on their own and then matching up the foliage. So trial and error. Bear in mind I've not used, and I've just put that in the wrong ink. Let me just clean that. I'm having such a great time today. Here am I showing you all these fabulous new products, and I'm having a bit of a mare. So let's see if it's any easier to actually line up. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I think we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I just can't see because I'm not standing over. Maybe if I stand up. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Shaz. And you were talking about ordering half the catalogue. I think one year Stampin' Up actually did say how much it would be if someone ordered everything in the catalogue. And I do wish they'd do that every year, just as a bit of fun. So I think that's how we get that lined up. If I could really get my head over it, I would, or even use my Stamparatus, I would be able to do that perfectly on camera. Now I'm going to give you another tip. So, thank you, it is handmade and not supposed to be perfect. I'm going to give you another tip here as well about ink pads. So I just inadvertently put my green inked stamp into my red ink pad. So to correct that, if that happens to you, or if you're crafting with a friend and that happens and it's their mistake, the thing that you can do, obviously only do this if you've got the re-inker, is take some kitchen towel and just blot the area that you've got the incorrect ink on. So you've got the dark ink, you'll be able to lift that off. It might leave a ghost impression, but you should be able to lift that and just clean that up. And if you've got the re-inker for that colour ink pad, then the next thing you do is re-ink it. So just carefully dab as much of that off. And then if you've got the re-inker, you can re-ink it. If you haven't got the re-inker, then you can go back in with your gift card, making sure it's nice and clean because you've just been swiping another ink pad. And you can actually redistribute the ink around the ink pad. So you can actually, and this is actually a useful thing to do with ink pads that you've been using quite a lot of, because quite understandably your ink pads will be used more in the centre than they will around the edges, so you can push some ink into the middle from the edges like so. So you can bring it in. Be careful because these are bits of foam stuck into a plastic box at the end of the day, so you don't want to be too vicious with them. You don't want to pull them away from the actual box, but that's something that you can do. Now I know that that ink, it's left a ghost impression, but I know that that ink will be good to go. If I have a large surface area stamp, it's not going to contaminate the colour that I'm stamping. It's the same with, this is an old ink pad, this is the old style ink pad. You can see it looks a bit funky, it looks a bit like it's going a bit, I don't know, crispy or something around the edges. But if I just, it's even got a hair on it, so if I just tidy it up, a bit of maintenance, you can actually use that plastic card, and I'll just redistribute that ink. So I'm going to leave that ink pad out so that I can do some maintenance on it later. So there we are, we've got our stamped images. This was supposed to be a really quick demonstration, so I need to crack on because I've got an appointment that I need to go out to, which is why I was on half an hour early. So I need the teacup, and I need the foliage, and I need the flowers. So let's bring in the big machine. which I haven't packed for tomorrow night, and I have written myself a really large note not to forget to pack it. So I'm just going to position it here for speed. I'm going to pop the flowers. Oh, I know why it wasn't. Aha! Haha! Why it wasn't lining up properly. So here we go. You know I said I was carefully laying this down on my block? Well, guess what? I wasn't careful enough because it's actually completely out of position. So when I try and line up my die with the images, it's nearly there but not quite. Can you see how this little one on the end isn't quite in the right place? And that's because this stamp is really flexible. So there's another tip. So actually, one of the things that you can do instead of just laying it down is lay it face down on a surface so it's reasonably loose and just let it relax. And that should allow you then to mount it on the block a bit easier. So it should be in position now. I'm just holding that behind the actual stamp, and I can see that that's it in a much better position. But for speed, just now, I am literally going to cut my teacup and my foliage. In fact, I might just leave this foliage. I might not die cut the foliage. I might just fussy cut that really quickly. See, thinking on my feet, crafting on the hoof, learning along the way. So hopefully, by happy accidents, I've taught you something about photopolymer stamps that are quite wobbly. Let's just drop that on the desk. And I might just die cut this one. Let's die cut this one foliage and we'll see how we get on. So much for quick card, is it? Hello, Helen. I think I'm teaching you how not to demonstrate perfectly, Helen, today. I think I'm teaching about learning on the hoof and when things go wrong, how to rectify them. It's a good learning. Good lesson. But hey, we're having fun because we're playing with new stuff, so that's what it's all about. So I have got this lovely pre-printed card. Now what I do want to do is add a bit more background. So find another block if I've got one. That's not going to fit on there. Oh, look at that. It might just. And I'm actually going to use Parakeet Party just as tone on tone. And I'm going to add some leaves. So I've cut myself this vellum and my teacup's going to go on top of that. And I want to just add a bit of background. So I want to add a couple of leaves that way. So maybe one that way, one that way, and then one down here and one down there. It just gives a little bit more interest to the background. I'm going to pop my vellum piece on and I'm going to use move my cup of tea out of the way before I knock that over. I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal just on the back of that, just a couple of splodges of Stampin' Seal. Now the reason I've done that right in the middle is, as you can see, when I press down you can see that Stampin' Seal through, but remember that's going to be hidden by my teacup. So you can see this is coming together now. I'm going to pop the leaves behind. I think I would have liked that spot of red. So what I'm going to do is just leave that there while I quickly fussy cut this instead of die cutting, because that stamp wasn't quite lined up enough for the die. So just quickly fussy cutting, moving the card. Probably not the best fussy cutting in the world, but hey, it's all good fun. I actually prefer to take my time fussy cutting. I find it strangely therapeutic. But just to show that you can do it reasonably quickly as well. So instead of this foliage, we'll have this foliage. That's just a nice pop of colour. Sweet. And we're going to stick all that together, and let's have a sentiment. What sentiments do we have in this stamp set? We've got some fun sentiments. We've got lovely, I like a thank you. Take care of yourself, which is nice for somebody who's maybe getting better or getting over something. Just take care of yourself, or maybe just struggling at the minute. What I really love is this little label and this little label, and this one you can pop these tiny sentiments. You can do a quick to and from tag. Time for tea, sweet, I miss you. I can't thank you enough. I have to say it in a small voice because it's really little. Enjoy. I think that's really sweet. So I might just stamp one of those. Let's do it, because the blocks I actually do have available are indeed little ones. So I'm going to go and find my garden green again. Let's stamp that, because there is a die for this. And let's have just, what about enjoy? Enjoy. So cute. And let's stamp that in that Poppy Parade. So yes, I'm using Poppy Parade if you've only just joined or you didn't hear me say. All of my other ink colours, apart from Parakeet Party, are all packed up ready for class tomorrow evening. So they're all packed in my trolley. So I've gone for Parakeet Party, and I don't think it's a bad match for the envelope. So let's pop those to one side, and let's see in the dies. We have these two really cute tags, look. Oh, three in fact. Cute little tags. And I just want that one. I'll just pop those flowers back in. And grab the big machine. Pop that on there. Let's run this through. Of course, this will go through the little machine also really easily. Oh, look. Izzy, you having a good day today? One of the new products in the catalogue is the magnetic plate. It's been delayed in shipping, but it is on its way, and it shall be with us quite soon. We are assured that we will have a new magnetic plate quite soon. I can see that that's also moved. So we really need the magnetic plate. But hey, it's handmade with love, not perfect. If you want perfect, go down the high street. Let's just pop this all to one side. Love my big machine, it's so sturdy. And let's assemble something. So we've got our layer. I'm going to pop my teacup up on a dimensional or two, taking care not to place them right at the very top of the cup, because I want to just slot those flowers behind. Let's just drop that on there. Let's have a bit of multi-purpose liquid, and we'll just drop those flowers inside the teacup, and we'll pop a little label on, probably with a glue dot. Stick that maybe just there, because I'm going to also pop a little bow on this. I'm going to pull out the sweet sorbet ribbon, and let's just do a simple little, it's really cute. Love this metallic ribbon, it's so nice, and when you've got your bow you can really nip it up tight, just adjust it. on the top there, and that just finishes that off, I think. Sweet. I could have perhaps put Parakeet Party ribbon, but that is the one of the in colour ribbons that's also packed up for class. I think that looks really sweet. Nice quick card. So it would have been much quicker if I hadn't have faffed so much, but quick, easy card to do. Matching envelope. No need to stamp the envelope. Really sweet. Hope you enjoyed looking at that. Now, I also had another card that I made earlier when I was visiting my lovely friend in Norfolk. Helen, you'll recognise this one. So I used a label from, yes, label Poppy Moments. No, lovely labels. Let's have a look in the catalogue because they are a die that's carried over. So I can quickly go to my dies. Here we are. And it's not a bundle, so I can quickly whiz past those. Painted labels. Painted labels, so I use this lovely die from the painted labels set as my background. Use the thank you stamp, double bow of ribbon, and some of those lovely dots. It's those lovely new in colour dots that we've got. So a couple of quick cards there on those pre-printed cards and envelopes. So I'm just going to try and finish off by showing you some of the other new products, a couple of new products that I've got. Let's just clear some of these bits away. I hope you enjoyed that fast and furious moment of madness. A lovely demo, bless you, Sylvia. A crazy demo of how to do things wrong and rectify it, but hey, we got there in the end, did we not? So let me share with you a punch bundle. So let's go to punches. Let's have a look at the bundles. Punches tab. Let's have a look at the bundles. And this lovely Songbird bundle here. Songbird bundle on page 152. Is that just in shot, hopefully? So it's a bundle, it's £32.25, and you get this photopolymer stamp set and matching punch. And let's have a look at some of the samples in the catalogue. So page 31. Here we are. So we've got some nice samples here of how you can pull this card together. And one of the images that I love from the stamp set, and again this is a good example of how the printing works in the catalogue, you can clearly see that these three images here are a different colour. They stand out from the background. They're printed at 100%, but these three images will be punched, four images will be punched using the builder punch. So the one image in this stamp set, of course I love my birds, I love anything to do with birds, so I had to have it. But the one tiny image is the musical notes that I absolutely love. I think they're so sweet. And I do want to point out, because these images, these examples in the catalogue haven't shown, is this fabulous branch that you can stamp with the leaves and some flowers, and this image here and this little image here. You can make a swinging sign, and you can actually pop your sentiment onto the swinging sign. So no more looking around for the perfect punch for your sentiment. You can actually stamp this saying a pale colour like crumb cake or Sahara sand, and then stamp your sentiment, a little note of thanks, or a little bird told me, or welcome. I even think that that one might fit in. You've got something to celebrate. You can stamp your nest on the branch. I just think it's fun, fabulous and fun. So we'll have some demonstrations using this, I am absolutely certain. And what else did I want to just share with you before I finish for today? Oh yes, the one stamp that is also new. So any of you out there who make and sell cards or products with Stampin' Up stamps, we have a new limited edition, it's called, stamp set that has the copyright stamp. If you've got one of the old ones, then you're absolutely good to go. But we have on the same page the Angel policy. So anything that you make and sell then must have a copyright symbol on it. And what I love about this new one is we've got not one copyright, we've got 1, 2, 1 on its own, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of those stamps have the copyright Stampin' Up, so you can take your pick and stamp the back of your cards with that copyright Stampin' Up symbol on it. And just a reminder of the Angel policy and where you can actually find that online as well. So hopefully that's been an interesting tour around the new catalogue. Hopefully that's given you some idea about how to read your catalogue even more carefully. There's lots of information in there, and I know from experience that many people just miss little bits and pieces in the catalogue. For example, just that tip about what suggested block sizes you might need, what coordinates with what, and how to read what coordinates from the actual die sets. So sometimes that's missed. Read your catalogue carefully. Once the giddiness, I always say when you get your brand new catalogue, is pick it up, love it, stroke it, open it and read it with giddiness. Write down a list of everything that immediately springs out that you absolutely love. And then go back and write down who you might make projects for using some of those items. So who does this make you think of? And that way it's a really, really easy way of writing your wish list, because we all do it. We all have massive wish lists, which is absolutely music to my ears, obviously, as I sell Stampin' Up products. But sometimes we have to just be strategic, and we have to think about what do we need and when, what do we love and why, and who can we make things for, because the joy of making is the joy of giving as well. And hopefully you've enjoyed that. I'm not going to swing the camera around. I'm going to finish here, and I'm going to wish you all lots of love and lots of crafty happiness and happy wish list making. I will see you again soon. Lots of love. Bye from me.